particularly when it comes to the region's lobsters. Now, they're a big part of people's livelihood there.
Yes, tonight Joe Crowley meets a team in Whitby who've come up with a clever way of helping the dwindling lobster numbers.
These baby lobsters, grown in a hatchery in Whitby, are nearly ready to be released into their new home in the North Sea.
And the plan is that they will replenish the wild stocks that have taken a hit in recent years.
The hatchery was set up in 2021 by fisherman and marine scientist Joe Redfern. And the aim is to put 100,000 baby lobsters into the sea each year. The process starts when a fisherman brings in a mother lobster carrying eggs.
We see if we can get one out without losing a finger.
Oh, wow, look at the size of her.
Big blue hen, known as a coronation lobster, this nice bright blue colour. And they can have up to 20,000 of these eggs.
Around 2,000 of the eggs hatch every day, and each morning Joe collects the tiny larvae.
The next stage is?
Yes, into the development room. And in these tanks we're trying to recreate the open ocean conditions.
After 2 months, they'll have grown enough to be released.
Have a look down in the top. You'll see all the stage 4 lobsters.
I mean, they are amazing to look at.
The baby lobsters are kept in grids to stop them attacking each other. In nature, fewer than 1% of eggs make it to this stage. Here, it's up to 50 times that number.
You must be very proud of getting them to this stage as sort of like a surrogate father of some kind.
Yeah.
Whitby has long been known as a fishing port, but declining fish stocks and tough regulation on the numbers that can be caught have seen the market decline. For fishermen like James Cole, the catch is now predominantly crabs and lobsters caught at sea using pots.
But in October 2021, the fortunes of the crab and lobster industry changed almost overnight.
Along 40 miles of the coast, hundreds of thousands of dead shellfish washed onto beaches.
A lot of them were dead, a lot of them were laying on their backs twitching and blowing bubbles, and it was highly distressing for everybody to see.
Fishermen began seeing dead lobsters in their pots too.
They were on their backs with their legs in the air, curled up.
A government investigation said toxic algae were potentially responsible. But many fishermen suspected the problem came from the River Tees up the coast. The river is kept deep enough for ships by dredging, digging mud from the bottom of the river and then taking it out to sea and releasing it.
They wondered if the mud taken from the river included industrial toxic waste, which was then dumped at sea, affecting the crab and lobster fishing grounds.
A fisheries charity and a group of fishermen crowdfunded some scientific research headed up by Dr. Gary Caldwell. Tests have revealed several substances in the dead shellfish, but one in particular stood out to Gary: pyridine.
So pyridine is an industrial chemical. It's used as a solvent to dissolve other chemicals.
Gary's initial research appears to show that pyridine causes exactly the effects the washed-up crabs were displaying.
So when you expose crabs to pyridine, they go into convulsions and they start to twitch. And I've never seen that before.
Then, using a computer simulation, Gary showed how pyridine could be carried down the coast by tidal currents. His map seems to mirror where the dead shellfish were found. The government then asked a group of independent experts to investigate. They said there wasn't proof that enough pyridine had been present in the sea to cause the deaths. They said an unknown pathogen was likely to be responsible. Supported by the fishermen, Gary is doing further work to pin down whether lethal amounts of pyridine and other pollutants are present in the fishing grounds. Meanwhile, Joe's efforts to replace lobster stocks are widely welcomed. A crowd of locals has come to see the first juveniles released.
These are the very first ones that have been all the way through your hatchery to be released back into the North Sea.
It's a real proud moment, for us all to get to this stage, so we're really pleased. Well, I'll hand it over to you. Good luck, little guys. It's a big world out there.
It's heartwarming to see it. Now we need more of this type of thing to make it sustainable and to bring it back to how it was.
Thank you, Joe. Time now to welcome our next guest, his new BBC comedy show.